You know, my good friend Alexander Pearson, who is a fantastic cryptocurrency trader and DeFi analyst, said to me the other day that when trading with margin, there is no margin for error. And I laughed, I didn't laugh. I smiled when I first read those words. And they've been rolling around in my head for the last couple of days. And I feel like it's important for me to kind of make a public service announcement to the cryptocurrency traders out there, because the rally is getting hot. And new people are coming in. Our Discord is growing. We can see all the engagement growing from new individuals. So I'm very happy and excited, because this is one of my favorite things in the world, to see new people coming into the space, to see new people building trading systems, to see new people developing strategies and getting into systems trading and joining our community. I absolutely love it. I love working with people. I love being a guide on this beautiful journey. But it really made me think of the common issues that I find in mentoring sessions, common issues that I come across when I'm scrolling through Twitter, common issues that come up in the comment section on our videos. And typically these are all dangers related to leverage trading or problems with leverage trading, right? There's two big problems in cryptocurrency that traders will face, and this is buying and holding all the way to the ground and getting liquidated with leverage. And so when trading with margin, there is little margin for error. Your execution and your trading strategy needs to really be on point to do very good, to profit well with leverage trading. And that danger is less there with spot trading, right? Liquidations are not a thing. You can pretty much just buy and hold in a bull market. The market is very forgiving. So, public service announcement. If you are struggling turning a profit on leveraged exchanges, I want you guys to go trade spot. I want you guys to get good at trading spot, to actually get good at trading what we're trading with lower risk, which is spot, and then move into leverage trading. All right. It may just save your bacon, because you don't want to be sidelined for this rally. Life-changing money is possible. You got to get your system straight, though. All right, guys. With that out of the way, let's get cracking with today's crypto trading room. Welcome, 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 everybody. Thanks for joining in the chat. Today is February 20th, 2024. Beautiful day, foul year of our Lord. This wonderful Tuesday morning, traditional markets are opened up. It is no longer President's Day. Can we get some buy volume coming in? For the love of God, can we break 53? Can we get to 58? That is the question. Game plan. Weekly chart of Bitcoin. Not much has changed, ladies and gentlemen. Not much has changed. We have come up into the low volume node. We know price does one of two things in the low volume node, and that is either blast through or reject. Like, price does not want to hang out in the low volume node. There is very little incentive for it to hang out on the low volume node. It wants to go to liquidity, and liquidity is at 57.58. That would also be confluent with the 786 retracement of the top of the previous bull market to the bottom of the previous bear market. We have achieved that 618 kind of golden retracement pocket thing, and we put these up there. Even though I don't put much faith in fibs in and of themselves, lots of other traders do, and it is lots of other traders that end up moving the markets, because this is a market psychology game. All right. So, excuse me. Not much has changed here on the weekly time frame. Of course, we have come up to that $53,000 level, that 52.53. We have so far been unable to break through on the weekly time frame. We're getting our first signs of price kind of rolling over. No massive sell-off, though. No really confirmation of a breakdown. We haven't broken through support. We've just whipped around into the liquidation zones over and over and over again. So if you've been following the channel, especially if you watched the video yesterday where I talked about a good lower time frame trading strategy, particularly on leverage markets, that is kind of the strategy that we want to be using anytime Bitcoin, anytime any asset is ranging. We want to be fading breakouts. We want to be fading breakdowns. We want to wait till vol gets crushed. And then once vol expands into a breakout or a breakdown, then we trade in that dominant direction with momentum trades. That's how we do things, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do things. So weekly time frame, not too much here has changed. If we were to get a pullback, where are we looking? I mean, first level of moving average support is down at 41,600. Of course, a deeper pullback would be 35,000. If we had a full rally reset, I mean, we are talking about 28. And of course, if we are going to be getting that pre-halving dump, all right, let's not forget about these low volume nodes down here around 25,000. Notice or remember that in most market cycles, when we have the halving, the year of the halving, we have the pre-halving rally followed by the pre-halving dump that usually starts right about now. Towards the end of February is when it kind of kicks off, and it culminates with a punctuated kind of capitulation event towards mid to late March that sees price go down to get close to, but not quite close to, the cycle bottom, which the cycle bottom would be coming in around $15,000. So could we see $20,000 Bitcoin? We absolutely could, and that would be on brand for the rallies that we've seen in previous years. That would be completely on brand. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So again, I am quite bullish. This rally is quite hot. I don't think that it necessarily has to be over yet. It is not a foregone conclusion that we get the pre-halving dump. Every moment in the market is unique. Every cycle is unique, and with the ETFs kind of outpacing distribution of Bitcoin, more Bitcoin is being bought on a daily basis than is actually being mined and produced, kind of setting us up for this supply squeeze to the upside. So again, all of the things, I'm not letting the bullishness go. We could still absolutely move to the upside. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If we take a look at BVIV, the Bitcoin Volatility Index, we are at 57.96. We can cross-reference that with implied volatility on Deribit as well. We can see it's at 55.1. So it's actually come down just a little bit. So the market is pricing in a $8,500 move to the downside and a $10,000 move to the upside by March 29th. All right. One of those two. That's how IV works. All right. So IV is relatively cheap, meaning you can purchase downside protection right now in the form of options, in the form of puts. And again, I've gone over this time and time again. Hedge when you can, not when you must. If you wait to hedge until you must, you're probably going to be sidelined. And yes, buying at the money puts right now is going to be kind of not too super cheap, but cheaper than it will be if you wait. All right. Right now, you can pick up one Bitcoin's worth of position for about $3,600 on Deribit buying at the money puts. I've gone over this time and time again. Unless you are a very sophisticated options trader, you want to be getting at the money puts. You don't want to be buying these deep out of the money puts, even though they are cheaper. Yes, you could buy the $35,000 strikes right now for $110 per Bitcoin, but the odds of price going down there and the odds of your option expiring in the money is minimal. Okay. So nothing's changed here on the weekly time frame. Daily time frame, of course, we are beginning to see, again, not necessarily the initiation of that sell-off. All right, we're still in the range. Nothing significant has happened here on the daily time frame. Daily time frame is, of course, overbought. The RSI is above 80. We talked about this previously. 12 out of the last 14 times the RSI has actually been overbought. It has not been a reversal signal. It has been a sign of immense strength. And 10 days later, 13 out of those 14 times, 10 days later, price was up on an average of 17%. So yeah, and 12 out of those 14 times, price was up the next 30 days. 12 out of those times, price was up the next 60 days. So in this rally, in this bull market that we're in, overbought is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. That is literally what the RSI is supposed to tell you. Relative strength index. If strength is very high, it just means strength is very high, right? These rallies get hot. These rallies are powerful, right? You don't want to be stepping in front of you don't want to be picking up pennies in front of a steamroller, guys. We'll be picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. Not too much. Again, nothing super significant here on the daily time frame. Again, Minx did roll over. So, of course, for the daily swing trades that took initiation anywhere around here, or maybe the breakout trade or anything like that, we can, of course, trim, and I would recommend trimming profits. You can get downside protection. You can, of course, short here as well. That's totally up to you. That's not the option I'm going to be going here. The red button is disabled for me this week, and I've talked about that, why that is, due to my own deficiencies as a trader. So, pulling everything back together. Of course, we can take a swing short here, but it's not what I'm doing. It's not what I'm doing. I'm going to believe in the rally. Pullbacks are to be bought. Life's good. And we're going to look to see if we get that continuation up to 758. That's kind of what we're banking on. By the way, guys, sorry. By the way, huge shout outs to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Prophet Bear, for gifting some beautiful memberships yesterday. Welcome into the community, you lovely new people. And we did smash the member goal yesterday. So we will be doing an extended stream today. And I do need to update the member goal because moving on up, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Of course, if we do hit that member goal, we will be doing an extended stream tomorrow as well. That's how we do it. You guys support the stream and I pay you. All right, shout outs to chat as well. I do see the man, the myth, the legend himself, Prophet Bear in the chat. Yes to crypto. Man, Bear, Bull, Cryptonomics, Ron Legato. We got the Caribbean Crypto Show going down here, and Luke Jones. Welcome in, guys. Hopefully you're doing fantastic this morning. Yeah, so again, nothing too crazy to talk about here on the daily time frame either. If we go ahead and switch over to our PTP system, it's kind of our daily trend following strategy. Again, we see a very similar situation here. We had volatility get absolutely crushed right here. So we know we want to take any swing trades coming out of here. TSI has already crossed at this point in time over the 0 line and it already given a bullish crossover over the signal line. So pretty much we're going to be swinging long at any point here. Many different triggers, just depends on what your system is. RSI is, of course, confirming the upswing as well. And we get this beautiful, nice run up. So PTP, this particular trade would have netted us about 22% from mid-range to mid-range, still cashing out those profits right now. And of course, trimming profits is totally fine. And then we just wait to see first pullback, first kind of bullish pullback zone here on the daily time frame would be 48.5. And then, of course, a more steeper pullback would be pulling us down to that 45.48. So we can still absolutely have those pullbacks, have that little rally reset and continue on to the upside. That's absolutely fine. Of course, 200 MA where we start talking about like a trend flip is down here at 3,800. All right. That's where we kind of be looking for momentum shorts and kind of look to switching to kind of a dominant shorting strategy until things reverse. All right. Intraday strategy here looking at Bitcoin. All right, intraday strategy looking here at Bitcoin. Here we can see things a little bit more granularity. We have our liquidation zone right here, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you do not know, I get this data from CoinGlass for free every single day. This is level 2 data directly from the exchanges. And if you're not using it, you are going to be behind. So we had price. What happened? What happened today? Nothing super crazy. We had an attempted breakout. Let's see here. I want to make sure I get my times right. Yeah, so this is this early morning. This is super early morning. Where was the, yeah, it was right here. This would have been like yesterday. Yeah, so yesterday we did have kind of this attempted break to the upside. All right. Bitcoin rallied very powerfully from the liquidation zone. Came up here, didn't quite get to the liquidation zone down below. And then we had kind of this little sell-off, higher low, and then we had this beautiful upthrust, unable to break above. We grabbed liquidity all the way up to $53,000. So these liquidation zones have now been cleared out, and we do need to update them. But I'm not going to right now. I don't see any point in updating them until we get closer up to the top of the range, at least past the mid-range as well. Excuse me. Yeah, so price drove down, grabbed liquidations. We cleared out a ton of liquidations today. Let's actually see. How many liquidations did we really clear out? Something on the order of, well, we had what, about 542,000 there, 5.4 million there. So about 7 million there, 7 million. And then we had about another 3 million. So 10 million, about $15 million in liquidations there. Yeah, about $15-20 million in liquidation, somewhere around there on, oh, excuse me, that was Ethereum. What am I doing? For the love of God, guys, who pays this man? Yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna go back to adding all that up, but we had quite a few liquidations. We actually just see it from CoinGlass. Let's see here. How many liquidations do we have? Not an ungodly amount. It's all good. Funding rate is starting to jump back up now that we've come down and cleared those liquidations. So, of course, I did long. We had that dip into liquidations. And, of course, just basic VWAP strategy, guys. This is literally the strategy I shared yesterday in yesterday's strategy video. What happened here, right? Price traded below 2 standard deviations of VWAP right here on the 15-minute time frame. We had a big open interest drop and a ton of liquidations at that same point in time. And what did? We bought it up. It's pretty simple. All right. This is our day trading strategy. We want to fade breakouts. We want to fade breakdowns. And we take our big kind of trending positions on the higher time frames. All right. So we want to trade. And when we're trading on futures, we want to trade the futures dynamics. We want to be looking at futures information. And for catching big swings, we just want to kind of zoom out. And honestly, just zooming out can be very helpful. All right. Zooming out is very, very helpful. Staying zoomed in and just hyper focusing on current price action is typically a way to get into big trouble. And zooming out really helps you, right? I highly recommend getting an ultra wide monitor so that you can kind of stretch the history of your chart out all the way. That's very, very helpful as well. Of course, not everybody can afford that, but if you want to be seriously trading, I like it. It's a very good tool that I've been using. Let's see here. All right. Yes to Crypto has invited some degens to come over from Farcaster. Well, we are looking forward to new individuals in the chat today. Welcome on in anybody who happens to be touristing from Farcaster. I know we're not as decentralized as Farcaster, but we do strive for as good as we can. You know what I mean? Like it's just a day. We trade crypto. What can we say? All right, Ethereum weekly time frame. Let's keep this rolling. 29.19. Ethereum is of course holding up better than BTC. We can see here on the weekly slight sell off, of course, but again, not breaking the range low, not breaking the range high. As we said, big picture here. If Ethereum is able to successfully close above 3,000, I think we're going to zoom right on up to 36, 37 very, very quickly. Significant breakdown from here. We are looking at first levels of weekly support around 2,300, and then a pullback to our previous kind of liquidity center at 2051. That's a low volume node. So, kind of extreme, but we could see a pullback to 2,000 and then an alley-oop up to 3,000. But again, if we do see, if we start to decline, I become more of the mind that we're getting that pre-halving dump. Yeah. So again, nothing too significant here on the weekly time frame. Things are quite nice and bullish. Ethereum is now overbought on the weekly as well. But as we've talked about in this rally, that has actually been a sign of strength. Like here. Ethereum on the daily time frame as well. Let's go to our reversal system first. Looking at our reversal system, we have not yet peaked above 2 standard deviations of the Bollinger Bands. Of course, this rally did kind of move us up quite nicely. ISIS spot is overbought here as well. But again, remember that has also been a sign of strength previously. And PPO Laguerre is, of course, red and peaked out here. But we haven't gotten the kind of real signal here, which is going from red to orange would be the more conservative signal looking for that reversal here. So again, just stuck here. We can see we are in this low volume node territory with no decisive movement yet so far. And then looking at our lower time frames here for Ethereum, of course, on the 15-minute time frame, very similar situation. Price just drove down into the liquidation zone, cleared a lot of liquidations, big OI drop. We didn't quite get below 2 standard deviations of VWAP on this particular one. So this is just more like a pullback. This is more like a pullback to support. We are now kind of chilling, looking at a little bit of resistance at today's point of control when the most positions have been entered into. I think a lot of people did short from here, just looking at kind of these dynamics. A lot of people shorted from here on this breakdown and probably got wiped out. A lot of people are probably shorting from here. Ideally, what I would like to see today is I would like to see another run on the liquidation zone to the upside. If there is a run on the liquidation zone to the upside, though, then again, I'm in the mind of a breakout. That's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for that breakout to the upside above 3,000 up to 36, 3,700. So again, I am long on Ethereum. And yeah, that's about it. Let's see here. So we want to just kind of guard our liquidation zone here is very important. 15-minute 200 MA. So far, we are holding the uptrend very nicely. And again, I'd love to see us kind of just consolidate down here for a little bit and make a run on 3,000 again. I would love to see that. That would be absolutely fantastic. But we do want to be pretty scared of losing the 200 MA very significantly, right? If we break through this liquidation zone and we start consolidating at the 2800s and we don't move away from it quite violently, then that does start to look like failure. That does start to look like a market breakdown. And we start thinking about shorts more seriously, because that would be a break of the range. And it's just always a scary situation when you have something like this. Like, for example, here's the previous rally, right? kind of the previous like significant move, and we have very similar price action over here. And then price breaks down below the 15-minute 200 exponential moving average. And it's just kind of scary for longs, right? It's just scary for longs in this whole area, right? And it takes a while for price to break, kind of reset, reclaim the 200 MA and go on a new rally. So again, just for those who are, currently positioned long and everything, it's just a little bit of a scary situation because, right there in right now, price looks like in a great bid zone, right? So you would want to bid price up right now, right? But yeah, breaking down below 2,800 is pretty scary. It's pretty scary because, you either have to have conviction in the long rally, but then you start to think like, oh my God, but we're really overextended. Am I really on the wrong side of the market? Like, what am I doing? Why didn't I short? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, deficiencies. Just want to be careful about that. Okay. Let's go look at our major alts here today, of course, on the daily time frame, starting off with Solana. Solana, of course, pulling back here down to the 21 exponential moving average on the daily time frame. TSI is also threatening and hinting to turn over here, which would, if that were to happen, would kind of signal that this is a lower high and that we're going to be getting a little bit more of a pronounced sell-off right here. Volatility is crushed here as well, and we are seeming to see that first little bit of expansion to the downside here. So Solana is looking dangerous here. Solana is looking dangerous, is suggesting that we want to come back down a little bit more. We do have our 55 exponential moving average level of support at 93.38. All right, 93.38, roughly right there, the $98 range. So could we see price come back down their tag and then go for another leg up? Absolutely, we totally could. When things are bullish, things are bullish. But we did form a lower high, not only in price, but also on the RSI. So altcoins are looking, a little scary. Of course, Bitcoin is looking like continuation. It is looking more like continuation within this week. So we would kind of expect altcoins to follow along. So let's just see, of course, it's Tuesday, day after trading. Let's just kind of see how Tuesday's volatility clears out. Again, we kind of want to see what happens tonight because we've really been seeing the decisive price movements happen at night during the European and Asian hours, which is quite interesting. All right, let's see here. But yeah, I don't see any trades on Solana right now. Again, if we don't hold the 21 exponential moving average, then I would look for support at 97.82. Of course, if we break those, then we're really just we have to wait either for a drive down to the 200 EMA, or we wait for some kind of punctuated sell-off and an overbought signal to kind of enter into the market, RSI to be oversold or something like that. But again, the big thing that kind of does concern me here is, of course, we do have this volatility crush, and we are now getting expansion to the downside. Typically, we get follow through with a signal like that. Arbitrum looking very similar. Again, low volatility, expansion to the downside. We do, of course, have support directly below us in the form of 181. So again, for those of you who want to kind of counter trade the markets, things are kind of starting to look attractive for a short. But at the same time, I am going to trade in the dominant direction. So I'm going to be a trend following trader, and I'm just going to chill. I'm going to wait for another opportunity around 182. Optimism, again, probably the strongest of all the three assets. But again, we're just kind of in this consolidation range. So probably the smart move, similarly on Optimism, is to short here as well, toward close to mid-range, I'm not going to lie. Just due to the fact that everything else seems to be pulling back as well. We do have support down below us in the form of the 21 EMA at 358. We have the 55 EMA at $3.30. That's kind of where we'd be looking for our next opportunities to kind of buy back into the markets. A full decline would be putting us all the way back at $2.48 for a market reset here. And then we just kind of sit on our heels. SUI is driven down into the one-day demand zone right here that we had marked out on our charts. This is kind of our first initial aggressive pullback to the 21 exponential moving average. So again, this is your first pullback opportunity buy. All right. If we were to lose this level, we are looking at pullbacks down to 137. All right. We could still maintain the rally down to 137. But overall, SUI has not broken its downtrend yet. This would be the opportune time to bid the market. Yeah, pretty simple. All right, so SUI is on the table. Chainlink as well. Chainlink's probably a little bit more scary to buy here because we don't have like a very significant pullback, and we do have crushed volatility here as well, and now finally expansion to the downside. So we're probably going to get a little bit more follow through on Chainlink. We are at the 21 EMA, so you could be very aggressive on Chainlink here and bid, or you could be a little bit more conservative and look to see if we could get a pullback to $17 and bid that level up as well. BNB, volatility is peaked here, but volatility is probably going to come down. Pullbacks down to 331.99 would be decent, I think. But again, for all these assets that I just went over too as well, you can also just stay long, right? don't need to be closing out positions or anything like that because we are still in a bullish trend and we haven't broken any significant levels of support yet. BNB. And then Matic, of course, very similar to Optimism, to Arbitrum here. Nice rally up, stuck in this big range, unable to break through, getting a little bit of, peaked volatility here and now a little bit of pullback. So let's see if we can consolidate at these higher ranges. You can, of course, continue to stay along on Matic as well. Of course, trim profits also. We did peak overbought RSI on the daily too as well. ApeCoin is still trying to push, man, coming up to that 200 EMA level of resistance. All right, 200 level EMA of resistance. Volatility is getting quite high here. So if we don't get immediate follow through, we'll probably see a pullback back into our EMA cluster here to $1.53 to kind of consolidate and see if this rally is going to continue to have legs. XRP, I still continue to like. Quite a bit here. We have pulled back all the way to the 200 exponential moving average. We've actually consolidated underneath it for a little bit. So we do have this kind of nice uptrend that we've been in for a while. Not as dramatic as an uptrend as anything else. XRP instead is growing nice, steadily, and smoothly. And we've had a nice price pullback now, and we've had this kind of reversal back to the 200 EMA. Again, I would sit on my hands right now. I am watching XRP very closely. I am very kind of interested in longing XRP at these levels, but I want to make sure that this isn't a pullback, retest, and continuation to the downside because we are now retesting the 200 from below. I want to make sure that this is a nice pullback buy opportunity and then continuation of a secondary rally. Because, of course, we do have a lower high from our previous rally, of course. But, this was also very catalyst and news driven. So we'll see. Sitting on my hands for XRP, I do have a note, though, to actively long XRP if we do get a little bit more continuation of the upside. Aptos, again, nice bullish run. Pull back to our EMA cluster here. This would be the area to bid the market up, of course, right in here between the 21 and the 55 exponential moving average. You can, of course, maintain your long until $8.18 if we do end up losing the 200 exponential moving average. But overall, things are good on Aptos. I would recommend staying long and just seeing how low we can go. Cardano, again, very similar. We're starting to see a pattern here. Just about everything is kind of the same with our altcoins where we've rallied and been unable to form a higher high, all right? A higher high. So again, like obviously the reversal opportunities are out there. As a trend following trader, I'm not going to be taking advantage of that. I'm not going to be trying to call market tops and bottoms. I'm just going to simply be trading the direction of the dominant trend. So again, where we'd be looking for pullbacks to bid Cardano, probably right here around 55 cents. Pull back to our nice 21 and 55 EMA cluster. Of course, this would be a next buying opportunity. Any kind of divergences down to the 200 exponential moving average as well. So again, we can stay long on Cardano. Dogecoin, I am long on Dogecoin. We did get a nice kind of bullish signal over here. We had the volatility crush and we got this expansion to the upside here. Pretty big sell-off today. Again, kind of just reversing our progress. But again, we're still at the 2155 EMA cluster. Still a good opportunity to pick up a position. We're still above the 200 EMA, so I think life's good. And we just had a nice sell-off and consolidation. So I am still looking for Doge to the upside. Polkadot, you guys know I don't really care for Polkadot. I will say that we are starting to see, TVL flow into other assets. We're starting to see TVL flow into Cosmos. Of course, this rally is very much Bitcoin driven, but we are starting to see more TVL flow into things like Cosmos, Ethereum, of course, Ethereum, but Polkadot as well. And Solana, Cosmos, and Polkadot are kind of leading the charge as far as TVL and DeFi flows. Even though I don't really care for Polkadot, but maybe we'll see something fantastic out of Polkadot this cycle. Uniswap, again, kind of same thing, unable to make a higher high. Probably not a bad idea to trim profits. We just had overbought RSI, so swing trades, we could probably take profits. You could even short back down. We've got our EMA cluster here between 650 and 680. Steeper pullback would take us down to 596. So again, positionally, I would stay long. Swing trades, we could trim profits, and then look for pullback buys down here. Bitcoin Cash, we're not even going to bother talking about. Filecoin, beautiful run to the upside. I would definitely trim some profits here. Big sells coming in with peaked volatility, overbought RSI. Probably see a pullback. If we were to just see an aggressive pullback and continuation, probably pull back to about $6.64. But of course, if we are going to kind of peak here, then we are looking for pullbacks down to at least $5.60, $5.80. Full market reset would take us down to $5 as well. So Axie Infinity, not too much to talk about. Maker, not too much to talk about. Bullish pullback to the 21 EMA. We could bid, be very aggressive here. A more conservative would be down to 1942 pullback. Ethereum Classic, again, bottom feeder called this, absolutely nailed it. We're kind of holding the 21 EMA. Again, nice pullback. Aggressively, you could bid right here. More conservative would be 24.63, but we are still in a nice uptrend on Ethereum Classic. YFI, again, YFI looks interesting to me, just like XRP, where, this long sideways consolidation at the 200 EMA. Now, I am going to hold off. I'm not bidding directly. I want to see bullish momentum. I want to see continuation of the upside because I don't want to see a breakdown. I don't want to see the beginning of a bearish trend here on YFI. So yeah, but YFI and XRP are the two assets that on the daily I think are the best risk to reward so far based on where they are. Phantom, same thing. Pull back to the 200 EMA here. Rally breaking above the 21 and the 55. Pull back now to the 21 and the 55. You could aggressively bid or, of course, wait for price to come down here to 34.65. Dydex, again, very similar to Phantom. Nice rally. Pull back, double bottom at the 200 EMA. Breakup. Now we're holding the 21.55 EMA cluster. You could aggressively bid this or you could wait for pullbacks down to $2.67 in 2/100s. EOS, not much to talk about. VeChain, beautiful rally, pulling back. Probably, again, this is probably your aggressive pullback area. This is probably something like a 382 if we were to bust out our fibs, right? Measuring from peak to up here. We go style, and we go 382, and we just opacity on Mr. 382. It probably helps if we make it white. Yeah. So this is our 382 pullback. This would be our first aggressive level of pullback. A more conservative pullback would be looking for VeChain to pull back to about 3.5 cents down here in our EMA cluster. All right. But, aggression is often rewarded in bull markets. Sand, USDT, again, very similar to everything else. Slight consolidation below 200 EMA, break to the upside, pullback. You could aggressively bid the 21.55 EMA cluster or the 200 EMA at 45 cents. Legends of Mana. No, it's just Mana Land. Very similar consolidation to 200 EMA, push to the upside, aggressive pullback to the 21.55 EMA cluster that you could bid, or the 200 EMA. Mask, not much to talk about. Lido, not too much to talk about. Conflux, different. Conflux actually pushing to the upside. And Neo, the Chinese Ethereum, lower high, aggressive pullback to the 21.55 EMA cluster, still holding the uptrend, so you can stay on. So overall, listen, guys, trend following trend following strategy would suggest, again, basically staying long on every asset that we just covered. It's absolutely fine. We don't have any significant deviations from our bullish trends. We're all still bullish on the daily. Prices are pulling back, of course. So reversal traders can, of course, look to kind of position. We are kind of peaked out at the highs of those ranges. So again, I think downside protection is important, is smart. But in general, I'm going to be bullish, right, for the next year, right? So I'm going to be focusing more on longs than shorts. It's okay if I miss route. It's okay if I completely miss reversals. It's totally fine as long as I buy in at the right point. So again, we can trim profits on swing positions. That's totally fine. And then just kind of bunker down. Let's see how steep of a pullback we get. We haven't had any indications that we're going to be reversing flip trend yet. That's all just kind of predicting and trying to, predict the market, which I don't care for. All right. That stuff sells headlines, but it typically doesn't make money, right? Predicting the markets. Just build a strategy and trade it. All right, that's our market update for today. Again, quick summary, guys. Everything is still relatively bullish, still broadly staying long on altcoins across the board. We, of course, are quite high in our valuations relative to our range. Most of our altcoins have been consolidating our range or either at the top of that range or they've sold off and they're kind of on their way back up from the 200 EMA. So for the ones that are on their way back up from the 200 EMA that are kind of far away from their range high, I would recommend just staying long and chilling or waiting for steeper pullbacks. For the ones that are closer to their range high, you guys can, of course, trim swing profits, look to buy back lower. That's totally fine. Again, I would recommend purchasing downside protection on Bitcoin and Ethereum in the form of options right now, just because vol is cheap. Of course, structure that. You got to figure out, like, okay, well, how much money am I going to make if all my holdings of how much profit would I make if Bitcoin were to go from here to here, right? 57, 58K. Think, okay, all right, that's great. And then, what percentage of that, like, would you be willing to lose 30% of those profits to purchase downside protection to hedge your portfolio, right? Like that's the game, right? Would you be willing to sacrifice 30% of your profit if price were to go from here to here, the upswing, by purchasing puts so that you can have that downside protection in case price goes down? And you just need to balance that so that when price does go down to your strike price or your whatever your option expires in the money, that you do okay with that. So again, it's just kind of it's just simple math formula, right? And again, I think 30% is kind of that safe level, right? You want to figure out, you want to have such a position of BTC to the upside that you can calculate out what your profits would be, take 30% of those potential profits and use that to purchase your downside protection, right? Anywho's. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoyed this morning's market summary where we cover everything. If you guys have any questions, of course, ask in the live chat, or if you're watching the pre-recorded, then just leave a comment. All right, guys. All right, we're going to take a quick break before we shift over into today's. Oh my gosh, you know what? I completely forgot to record that. Ah, man, that is rough, guys. That means I'm not going to be able to post today's market report. Oh, that's rough, guys. But you know what? That's fine. It's totally fine. All right, let's pivot gears here a little bit. Let's switch over to DeFi and let's take a look at how things are kind of going. All right, let's see here. Myro pulling back to about 0.075. Let's see here. My ST bot position just still chilling. Again, I'm fine to just hold this for whatever because I bought over here. All right, we're still up like 300%. So everything's good there. All right, let's take a look at. All right, Asterix. Again, we DCA'd into this on the way up, which we will continue to do. So we'll just chill. Asterix is just kind of still hanging out in that consolidation area after. Did this one 2x? Yeah, this one 2x'd after we entered right here. And then we do have our other Ethereum DeFi position, Arbius. Again, we bought here, rallied up, price a little bit lower down here, closer to a little bit actually below my initial entry, around 463. Just chilling after it did a 60% to the upside. Let's check in on, these are other things that I'm watching in the realm of DeFi. Can we get the full screen going on? Yeah, this is much nicer. We do have, of course, Heroes of Mavia, which is pulled back quite nicely. I actually quite like Heroes of Mavia here. This looks good. Pull back to kind of the mid-range of this triangle that we were able to successfully break out of. So I'm just going to kind of set an arbitrary trigger. And I think I'd like to see price. I think I would really like to see price. Hold on, let's make this just a little bit steeper. All right. I'd really like to see price break back above this trend line, and I would probably look to enter Heroes of Mavia. All right. Heroes of Mavia pretty decent. Let's take a look at Degen, of course. Oh, look at that. Degen rallying pretty nicely from support. All right. Looking good. Looking good. Had that nice bid. Again, that strong support of 1488, breaking above our MAs. I mean, we have overhead resistance at 2000 to 2200, but that's a nice sign. All right, go Degen. Go Degen. Go Degen. Guys still dying a painful death, moving in sideways consolidation, 0x from open exchange. Still consolidating down here at the lows. Let's see here. We only need to look at Stargate Finance. Let's look at V, Block V. We already looked at this one. I know this one has pulled back a little bit. We bought a little bit more Block V yesterday. Layer AI, one of my top picks for 2024. Yeah. I'd say Layer AI is doing pretty good, up about 100%. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see here. Anything else to look at? Ondo Finance, another one of my picks for 2024. Again, nice rally. And then LNDX, which is our kind of real world asset narrative play. Of course, we did buy the top on this, and prices pulled back a little bit. We'll probably buy a little bit more down here. I think that's what we should do. Go shopping for a little LNDX down here. I think today would probably be a decent day to buy LNDX. Yeah, I mean, of course, I didn't just buy here. I know it says main entry, but that's not actually quite correct. Because I bought at the very launch, as soon as it listed, I actually bought right here. All right, so I think I bought like $2,000 here, and I think I only bought $1,000 here. So my average entry is up here. So I could add here, but I probably won't. I'll probably add in profit. I don't want to add to losing positions. I only want to add to winning positions. Yeah, something like that, mate. Okay. So let's talk about, let's get the music going first, of course, guys. As always, let me know if I need to make any adjustments to said music. All right, just kind of going over what our analysts are saying and calling for in our premium Discord, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, you can find all the information about our premium Discord on the website, cracking.cryptocurrency.com. Reflex here just saying that we haven't seen a main daily rejection yet. And looking for a break of the high and a retracement or a flip to $55,000, $57,000. All right. Looking at what Mr. Shiras is looking for here. He has actually gone long on BNB. Pulled out a 22% profit with Theta overnight for our premium members. Let's see. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, just some testimonials here from Shiras, one of our main signal providers here for our premium Discord here. Some testimonials posting some nice profits on Storage and posting some nice profits on Clayton over on OKX. Again, yes. So Shiras, like me, staying bullish. Life's good. Let's see here. Oh, yep. And here is, of course, keeping you guys updated on our bottom feeder strategy. This thing has, just to be clear here, I want to talk about this with people because I don't think they understand how good this bot is. This is our best automated strategy. It is available to our premium members. This thing is up 300% since 2020, and that is, again, by the way, by taking 1% risk per trade. Okay? I'm going to be very clear about that. Taking 1% risk per trade. Meaning, you could have this strategy running alongside literally anything else that you're doing. Because it takes 1% risk per trade. It's usually not in too many trades simultaneously. And it's up 300%. It's beautiful. So pulling out this nice trade on Ethereum Classic, and I know Crypto Meister and all the rest are just absolutely loving bottom feeder right now. It is just printing money. Tyler says, is there a MAGA coin? I'm sure there is, and I'm sure I can find it. Yes. I'm sure I can find it on Dex Screener. MAGA. Yeah, Trump WETH, right here. It was launched on the Ethereum blockchain. There's $3.9 million of liquidity in this coin right now. Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's just a baby boy. He's just a baby boy. So yes, yes, here's Trump. You can actually just pull it up on, you should be able to pull it up on TradingView, I do believe. I don't actually know like if how quickly they update this stuff. So let's find out. This is our alts. So let's go to Trump 2024. Yeah, here we go. Trump WETH 88E 950. No, this ain't it. Let's see here. Yeah, this one is just called. This ain't it either. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, like TradingView is not pulling up the right one, but yeah, I got I got it here on. I got it here. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy to say, right? Like sideways consolidation, you could play the break to the upside. Let's see. Let's look at the hourly. I'm doing the hourly. I mean, you can ride long right now. It's totally fine, right? Like prices come back down to support. We've got very strong support here. As soon as I can figure out how to draw a rectangle. All right. Decent. What's happening to volume? Again, volume declining down into the sell. Declining volume is usually bearish. But yeah, I mean, you could go for a trade on here on MAGA, and then that 10% stop loss seems about right. Yeah, that 10% stop loss is usually my standard if I'm swing trading altcoins, right? So again, you want to ideally, obviously, buying down here is better, right? Because then the 10% stop loss puts you a lot safer. But at the same time, this seems like pretty clear validation. Again, these are not futures markets. So there's none of those like future shenanigans that we have to worry about. It's not like, oh, the market makers want to push price down here to grab liquid. Like, no, like there's no liquidity to grab in spot markets. That's not how prices work. It's not. There's none of this, right? Like in spot markets, breaks of support and resistance are actually bearish, right? In futures markets, they can often be tricks, right? Because they want to grab liquidity to then push on up to the upside. That's just not how spot markets work, which is why, by the way, kind of going back to this morning's rant, trading spot markets can be a little bit cleaner and easier. Let's see. The most beautiful coin. Yeah. Profit Bear asking for Jesus. Of course, man. I always, we need a little bit more Jesus in our lives here, guys. We need more Jesus in our lives. Let's do it. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm going to take a brief. We've been live for 1 hour, so I'm going to take a brief, like 1 minute break. I will be right back. All right, guys. And we're back. All right. BTC has reclaimed the trend line. BTC has reclaimed one standard deviation below VWAP. Still don't think we're anywhere near. Yep. We still have the point of control to overtain if we are going to kind of look bullish at all, or we're going to reject from this zone and make another drive down towards liquidation. But first, let's take a look at Jesus Coin and get a game plan going here. All right, Jesus Coin on Ethereum, $2 million in liquidity. We have a tradable asset. Don't believe I've actually charted this one out, so let's go figure it out. All right. So we've got some important zones here that we can mark off. First is our point of control. I want to go over and I want to extend this over so we have an understanding of what this zone is. Okay. So this is the area that has the largest amount of volume by price. Okay. Meaning this is where most people bought. Okay. This isn't quite the right term, but it's the one that seems the most correct to me. This is the average investor's cost basis down here. All right. This is where most of the whales are positioned. Okay. We do, of course, certainly have some down here. That's absolutely fine. I'm sure they've made an absolute killing. Jesus does save the world. But we do have our average investor cost basis down here. And then I would probably say this zone is standing out to me as this low volume node right here. Does seem very important. This has acted as a critical turning point in the market. So let's just call this our critical turning point. All right. Pretty simple here. Bullish above, bearish below. All right. Critical turning point right here. And there's really not any purpose in putting any other lines on the chart. We can just keep it nice and very clean right now. As far as that goes, when we're talking about these meme coins, it's just important to understand. It's important for us to understand what the motivations are, where the average investors are, and kind of what the critical turning points are so that we can kind of have a game plan. Unfortunately, of course, 80% of coins that all-time high do not then go on to all-time high. This is kind of showing the classic kind of DeFi somewhat pattern that we see of low cap coins, which is launch, obviously immediate run up, big sell off. This one's slightly different in the fact that it kind of double tops as well. We get that aftershock pump. So we run all the way up into that critical turning point. We sell off pretty mightily, and then we rally back up into that critical turning point, giving investors who bought here the opportunity to get out at break even. And then price, of course, goes into this bearish trend that we see. And this is why like getting into these markets is very hard, because this is the type of chart. This is the type of setup that tends to do well with DeFi excuse me. This is the setup that tends to do well with these low cap coins, but it's very, very scary, right? Because it's not a for sure thing that it's going to pump. But we see something like this, right? Where it pumps and then we have this very like long, slow bleed out. And if you look at a chart like this, it's very hard to be bullish. It's very hard to be like, oh my God, well, this is like a great deal. Obviously, if you know that something has amazing fundamentals and is really cool, then that obviously makes you more incentivized to invest in it. But if something is amazingly cool and has awesome fundamentals, then usually the chart doesn't look like this, right? But again, at the same time, this is crypto. So even like things like Sui, Aptos, Flow, Optimism, Arbitrum, all of them had, a similar price action, right? Where when they launch, they rally and then they sell off. And then after the sell-off comes the, oh my God, what the hell is going on rally, right? That, then when you zoom out and you look at everything, this looks like absolutely nothing. and you think to yourself like, well, of course, why wouldn't you buy there, right? So this kind of hindsight thinking is important. Yeah, clearly Jesus has fundamentals, right? Clearly, Jesus has some fundamentals here. But all right, so we've run up. We had the same. Very interesting. We had the same price pattern here, where we peak into a beautiful rally, we pull back, and then we go for that aftershock pump. Right? We go for that second try lower high, and then sell off. And then, so what happened the previous time this happened, guys? I mean, this happened before a rally. And I'm fairly certain that that's probably going to happen again. Right? I'm fairly certain that that's probably going to happen again. We have the average investor cost basis. So one of two things are going to happen. Price is either going to work its way down here to the average investor cost basis and consolidate sideways, which is very, very likely, right? Consolidate sideways. We should see some defense. And then the most likely scenario, unfortunately, because we've seen this with just so many coins, and because liquidity and volume and traders just move on to the next thing, right? They look at something like this and they're like, all right, cool. Well, this is done. So I would expect the price comes down and consolidates around the $6,000 level right here. And then probably, I would be surprised if we are able to break out above the critical turning point for the rest of 2024. I would be very surprised. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Consolidate around 6,000. And then, we'll see, probably at that point, most coins go into zombie mode, right? Most coins go into zombie mode. Most of these low cap coins go into zombie mode where, they will consolidate, and every once in a while they get pumped and dumped up to their critical turning point right here. But that's the most significant low volume node. And then, over time, those rallies actually become like smaller and smaller until eventually at some point we break down here, and then it's just rallies up to here. And that's the typical life cycle of a coin. Again, I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just talking in probabilities. Okay. So again, but as investors, that makes us pretty decent, right? Like, if you already, obviously you want to, of course, ensure that you made some money on Jesus. Okay. And, if you bought down here, you're still going to be making good money, right? Taking profits here. That's absolutely fine. You could continue to hold Jesus. That's absolutely fine. Of course, I think that the individuals who are in Jesus are probably going to hold Jesus, but yes, we are in a downtrend. We are making lower highs. We haven't gotten any break of that trend. We haven't gotten any break of that market structure. I would expect that unless something changes dramatically, and that something dramatically would be breaking above the $1,500 mark here. Again, this is a critical turning point. So we need to have price above here, and we need to have higher lows. So it would be beautiful if price were to stop here, rally up, and put in a higher low. That would be a significant break in market structure, and we could be looking for higher prices. But this does look like it wants to go for a lower low, as you so accurately pointed out. Consolidation here at the average investor cost basis. And then we'll just see it. Yeah, the trades will then kind of move here from here to here, which is still a 2x. So these are still like great trades to like look out for and be a part of. But that's kind of typically what we would expect to see. So we have new information, new data. Things become critical if we can break back above 1,500, generate some bullish momentum. Until then, I am kind of seeing this magnet of investor cost basis down here around 6,000. Holy fundamentals, Batman. No. All right. Get the game plan here. So we've got our first low volume node that we kind of tore through here. This would be our aggressive pullback zone right here between 51,300 and 51,122. We either want to see price continue up to the point of control, or we want to bid pullbacks back into our 15-minute block here. Meeting St. Peter after dumping your bags is not a good look. It's probably not a good look. It's probably not a good look. It's probably not a good look. All right, I think... That 51.1 was the daily 10 SMA. Okay, that would be good. Yeah, so pull back to the daily 10 SMA. All right, so let's talk about today's all right, I want to... Give me 1 second here, guys. Let's go into video. All right, let's see. No, that's not what. That's not. That's not what we do. We'll just keep it like this. All right. Sorry, guys. I was just kind of looking around for a bigger picture scene, but potentially not necessary. So. All right, so for today's topic, I'd like to go over Glassnode's new weekly newsletter. Glassnode has a fantastic weekly newsletter called This Week on Chain, and I really look forward to reading this newsletter every single week because it is just great to read from, quants. It's great to read from people doing, probabilistic analysis on the markets who are looking at this on-chain data and analyzing this because, again, this is a type of data that we just do not have in traditional markets, and it is so rich and it can inform our decisions so well as traders and investors that it's just really important. And I look forward to this newsletter every week, so I want to go over it because this one's quite interesting, and this one's called "Moving Out on the Risk Curve." All right, and of course, Glassnode has some really cool on-chain indicators that they can utilize. Keep, of course, with the caveat that 99% of metrics are useless unless you learn how to use them correctly. There's nothing that can accurately predict the future 100%. Again, we deal in probabilities just like quantum mechanics. All right. So in this article, Glassnode is going to be exploring how capital is starting to rotate through asset classes by tracking asset performance, total value locked, and trade volume on decentralized exchanges. Basically, this is going to be an alt season publication. All right, so we're going to be kind of looking at on-chain, what are the volume signatures, what are the investor behaviors, and how are these assets growing that would indicate that altcoin season is going to continue. all right, or restart, all right? All right, moving out on the risk curve this week on chain. All right, so the executive summary here is since October of last year, Glassnode's alt season momentum indicator has flagged growing appetite from investors to move capital further out on the risk curve. What does that mean, further out on the risk curve? Moving capital further out on the risk curve means diversifying your initial cryptocurrency holdings that would be something more stable like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins, for example, and beginning to diversify those holdings to sell profits from Bitcoin and use those profits to invest in more alternative assets, in riskier assets, things like Solana or Arbitrum or Optimism. And then, of course, you can extend that even further. For example, individuals cycling profits out of those assets and moving them into riskier DeFi positions, for example. All right. Whilst Bitcoin dominance does remain significant, there are early signs of more capital rotation into the Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, and Cosmos ecosystems. All right. And by investigating Uniswap liquidity pools, we can see that most capital does remain in the most mature assets, the coins that have been around the longest. And whilst TVL is moving out on the risk curve, trade volume has been slower to follow. All right. What I think that means is that we are seeing a big influx of kind of new trade volume due to the ETFs and due to, of course, just price being up and more normies wanting to come in and trade cryptocurrency. And even though we're seeing investments start to branch out on the risk curve, we're starting to see investors move that kind of TVL out. Trading volume, as far as located on decentralized exchanges, has been slower to follow, which again lets us know that we're still extremely early, guys. Things are even as hot as things are, things can get a lot hotter. All right. So anticipating alt season. All right. With the new spot coin, with the new spot Bitcoin ETFs gaining momentum, a bull market in the digital asset space is arguably in play. With this backdrop, we'll continue exploring the question of capital rotation. This is something they covered in a previous newsletter as well. In this edition, we will focus on how assets are performing further out on the risk curve. All right. The goal is to assess how capital rotates and flows into the altcoin markets. All right. Again, understanding of flow dynamics, market psychology is going to be a very helpful tool with discretionary trading, with discretionary investing. And then again, they of course have their alt season indicator as a macro indicator. This indicator assesses whether positive momentum is building within the total altcoin cap alongside continuous capital inflows into BTC, Ethereum, and stable coins. So what they want to see is not only do they want to see the altcoin season market capital, the alt season market capitalization rising, right? Total 3. And of course, we can look at total 3 very easily. Total 3 lives over here. Okay. You can see total 3 is hovering north of $500 billion, $536.95 billion as of the time of recording. Okay. This alt season indicator has signaled positive momentum since October of last year, with a brief pause during the sell the news event during the Bitcoin after the Bitcoin ETFs went live. It re-triggered on the 4th of February. So Glassnode's alt season indicator is firing, has refired since since February 4th. And give me one moment. Try to load live charts up here. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so here we can see, we'll just zoom in for a little bit more granularity here. Here is their alt season indicator. And we are tracking, let's see, the gray line is BTC price, of course. Things that they are looking for, all the components that are in this indicator. We're looking at true USD circulating supply, BTC relative market cap, BTC realized cap, USDT circulating supply, Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum relative market cap, Ethereum realized cap. So again, they weren't lying when they're saying not only do they want to see the alt cap right here, which is the primary indication that they're looking for. We seem to have lost our... Not only are they looking at the alt cap, right, which is going to be the dark blue line here, all right, and they're looking, so this is the 30-day moving average of altcoin capitalization, and of course they're also contrasting that with the 7-day moving average of altcoin capitalization, which is of course the purple line. So again, we're just looking for the 7-day growth of market capitalization to overtake the 30-day growth of altcoin capitalization. So not a leading indicator, a lagging indicator for sure. but we can see here that it is just tracking. Notice how it kicks in kind of after prices start to kick off here a little bit, not before. So it's a little bit of a lagging indicator. But lagging indicators are good. All right. Moving average crossovers can signal very powerful signals. Just most people are a little scared to take them. And that's totally fine. But we can see that every time the 7-day moving average of altcoin capitalization overtakes the 30-day moving average of altcoin capitalization, basically the altcoin season indicator does fire. Now, of course, you will need an advanced subscription to Glassnode to access these M7 metrics, right? But we can basically make a simple bastardized version of this with just TradingView. All right. With just TradingView, you can just pull up Total 3 and you can throw on our free to use CC EMA indicator. Why am I, what is the problem? Let's see, let's go to favorites. CC EMA. I believe it's exponential moving averages by cracking cryptocurrency would be the correct name of it. So we can just modify these. All right. We're going to take these moving averages off. We're not interested. And we're just going to make a 7-day moving average, 7-day SMA. And we're going to be using a 30-day SMA. All right. Right here. So again, we're not going to be getting the kind of the stablecoin metrics or flow like that. But essentially here is our alt season indicator. All right. Our alt season indicator. Very simple, slightly bastardized version of the alt season indicator. Aw. Okay, I think I'll give some subscriptions even though nobody I invited showed up. You know, that is the thing, right? We do have subscriber mode on. And of course, that is cutting down on the chat a little bit. I never thought about that. That is kind of disincentivizing new people to chat, isn't it? It is kind of disincentivizing new people to chat. That's a good point. So I'll tell you what. Okay. Yeah, so there's a reason for that, right? And it's because we've had a lot of trolls. You know, it's just this is part of the live streaming game, right? But I get it. Yep, I get it. So I've opened up the live chat. And we'll see how it goes. Well, we've opened up the live chat. All right, we'll see how it goes. I think, yeah, probably seven days is pretty restrictive. Like 5 minutes is probably good, right? Then at least like you got to be right. Okay, life's good. All right, let's carry on. So here's our alt season indicator, guys. Again, you know, is an overbought indicator going to be really helpful here? No, because again, overbought is like, oh, we're constantly looking for the rally to end, right? And that's not trend following strategy. When you're a trend following trader, here's the thing, guys, and this is very important. Trend following traders, we live for this movement. Okay. All right. Which means we don't care about selling the top. We care about selling here because we got in here. That is the point, right? We are patient. We wait long periods of time for a good setup to develop. We have the cojones to continue to hold through all this volatility. We add on dips when the odds are in our favor. And you only need a few nice, beautiful trades like this to really, to make the pursuit of trading worth it. All right. The cryptocurrency market trends very strongly. It is the most logical trading strategy to use because most retail traders who try to trade like sophisticated traders get chopped up and wiped out. And that's not, there's a lot better ways to trade in my experience and in my opinion. Okay, so getting back into our article here. All right. So we do know that the Glassnode's alt season indicator has been firing. We know that they are looking at significantly more metrics than, of course, we are with just our simple altcoin cap token, though. Hey, Felipe, welcome into the live stream. I am familiar with Degen. Yes, I am familiar with Degen, and I am now, thanks to yes to crypto, I am now a Degen holder. So to the moon, my friends, to the moon. And I've done quite a bit of analysis on Degen as well. All right. Now, in terms of market cap dominance, Bitcoin does continue to lead. All right, here is kind of a pie chart of market cap dominance right now. Bitcoin does lead at 52.4%. We can see that altcoins' relative market capitalization is sitting around 23.6%. Ethereum's relative market capitalization is sitting at 17%, with stablecoins coming in at 7% market capitalization. Remember, of course, we have talked ad nauseum. There is a great system that you guys can utilize, which is USDT dominance. All right. And actually, I would be quite interested to see kind of how that indicator works here as well. I mean, that's pretty nice. Obviously, when we're dealing with moving averages, the issue with moving average strategies is getting chopped up in consolidation, right? Where your moving averages can be kind of crossing over each other very wildly. But just looking at USDT dominance, of course, see, here's that kind of nightmare scenario, right? Where you have consolidation and you're just getting continually chopped up, getting continually chopped up. But when we get these nice, beautiful trends, it kind of foretells, should we be broadly risk on? Should we be broadly risk off? All right. Should we be broadly risk on? Should we be broadly risk off? All right. And again, we can see here from USDT dominance, we were trading in this range for a long time, since 2022, basically. And every time USDT dominance got down here, it was an indication to exit the markets, to go risk off, because USDT dominance would then rise to resistance, where you would then go risk on for the decline, go risk off for the ascent, go risk on for the decline, go risk off for the ascent, right? We did this over and over and over and over again. And then back in November, we actually broke down, back tested as resistance, and broke down again. So it's just been risk off this entire time. Now we have made a lower low, and we are looking to see if USDT dominance is going to just have a little kind of movement like the one that we just had, or are we kind of in the middle of a trend? All right. So again, we just wait, chill, relax, everything's fine. Okay. In terms of actual price performance, Bitcoin and Ethereum are leading the pack. We're up 17.6% and 18.2% respectively. All right. But on the other hand, the aggregate altcoin market capitalization has not experienced the same performance, with year-to-date growth being less than half of the two majors, meaning our alt. So again, this chart just lays it very clear. Again, if we look at our overall performance of altcoins during this cycle, we can see that this rally has been very much Ethereum and Bitcoin driven. All right. Bitcoin being up 17.6% year to date, Ethereum up 18.2%, and altcoins only 8.1%. So we can see altcoins significantly lagging behind our Bitcoin. So we really haven't had this. We really haven't had altcoin season per se. All right. Of course, altcoins have been moving up, doing fantastic, but kind of that cycle of the market where we see Bitcoin stagnate, where we see Ethereum stagnate, and things just, well, Bitcoin really stagnate. Ethereum tends to go up quite well. Yeah, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen this. What do I think Bitcoin has skyrocketed in the last month? I mean, listen, a variety of reasons, but at the end of the day, there's more buyers than sellers. All right. We're in a bullish trend. Things are hot. These things just kind of pile on top of one another. I'm not a big believer in narratives or reasons, right? Because you can just kind of drive yourself crazy. I'm not a conspiratorial thinker. It's because we're in a bull market, right? And volatility. I mean, there's a myriad technical reasons we could go over why. But again, those are probabilities. Okay. Another lens to track performance is using the realized cap for each sector. So we're going to aggregate the cost basis value of all coins transferred on chain. It's a beautiful way to do this. From this perspective, we can better assess the movement of capital within digital asset markets. All right. So Bitcoin again is leading here, almost $20 billion in capital inflows per month at present. Of course, that number is quite nice. Keep in mind that this number does exceed the actual USD value of Bitcoin being mined per day. We do have a bit of a supply squeeze. I mean, that is another important reason. That's one of the other important narratives or kind of reasons that's laid out for why Bitcoin has had this explosive growth, because of the ETFs. The ETFs are spots. And that means that when you go, if you're a traditional, if you open up E-Trade, if you open up Fidelity and you go and buy your Bitcoin ETF, the custodian of the Bitcoin ETF has to purchase spot Bitcoin to balance the portfolio of the ETF, of the issuer. So this is a big reason. Yeah, and that demand for spot Bitcoin is currently exceeding the amount of Bitcoin that's being produced on a daily basis. So you have supply side dynamics. Ethereum inflows are lagging behind Bitcoin. So investors, let's see, are suggesting investors look for confidence and confirmation that digital asset markets are growing, blah, 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 blah. In the 2021 cycle, the peak influx of new capital into BTC occurred 20 days before the peak influx into Ethereum. So basically saying that we saw the blow off top 20 days before the blow off top for Ethereum. Okay. And altcoins tend to see capital flows with a similar lag after Ethereum sees strength, with a duration of 46 days in mid 2021 and 14 days in late 2021. So it is laying out this cycle of explosive tops where we see Bitcoin peak first, and then about 20 days later, Ethereum peaks first, and then about 46 days in 2021. So again, about 5 weeks in 2021 and about 2 weeks in late 2021, we saw altcoins peak as well. This is also not too dissimilar from the 2018 bull market, where we saw Bitcoin peak first and then sell off, and then we saw Ethereum peak and then kind of sell off, and then altcoins absolutely exploded in their last gasp. And 2021 was not dissimilar. 2021 was quite the exact same. What are the probabilities of the Bitcoin market going up? Do I think a specific political movement was crucial to this buy? Is it easier? That's a lot of questions. What are the probabilities of the Bitcoin market going up? I don't have a number, but I would definitely say greater than 50%. I am of the mind that we do move up to 57, 58. Do I think a specific political movement was crucial to this buying? No. Is it easier for American or European citizens to buy Bitcoin? European. You have access to more exchanges. But interestingly enough, typically, we kind of see shifting dynamics with Bitcoin as far as where is liquidity coming from. So if we look at the 15-minute BTC chart here, and if you start to like actually analyze this and look at, okay, well, what times of day did these rallies occur? All right. What's interesting is, let's actually get something like a 4-hour chart so we can see a little bit more. What's interesting is here's September, October, okay, in Bitcoin. And this is when the ETF narrative became a thing. All right. This is when the ETF narrative became a thing. All right. And then we, of course, have the run up into the ETF decision in, here is when this is early January. Here we go. We get the ETF decision in January. And then, of course, we have the sell off into the ETF decision. And this right here, this point in the markets, let me draw a line. This is when we see a shift in market participant activity. All right. Because in the run up to the ETF decision, we noticed that the rallies were coming in during non-American trading hours, right? So really, we can see these buys, these rallies really kick off during the London Open or during the Asian Open, right? Again, those are more Forex terms, but it's similar. Basically, when Europeans traditionally come online is when we'd see these rallies start, and they would kind of continue into the Asian cycle. The Asian cycle would kick it off, and then into the London session, and then of course the New York Open, and then we would see basically during American trading hours, the market be pretty stagnant. All right. The market moves sideways, consolidation. So we weren't seeing decisive price movements come from Americans. That's different now. That has now changed. Since the ETF sell-off, all right, it's been very different. We've actually been seeing the consolidation during the European hours, and we've been seeing the rallies during, of course, this one's a little different because this rally carried forward through all time cycles, but we're seeing the rallies during the American hours, and we're seeing the consolidation lags during the European times. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. All right. By the way, BTC has now, we are long, of course, on BTC. We did buy the breakdown into the liquidation zone, not breakdown, but we saw the dive. We bought the dive into the liquidation zone. We were looking for, again, just a few seconds ago, we drew our block here. So we were going to aggressively buy any pullback into the 15-minute block. We have now reclaimed today's point of control, today's session volume point of control. This is where the most individuals entered. This is the most significant area of volume by price. Low volume node down here. So be looking for pullbacks down to 51, 247 range. I'll be buying that up. Other than that, just mid-range. So again, progress, mid-range is good. Mid-range is necessary if we're going to continue on upwards. All right, back to our article, ladies and gentlemen. No. Something happened. Oh, what's up, dude? Oh, yes to crypto with the 5 gifted. With the 5 gifted. What? Why is he gifted 5 gifted? What is he doing? Why is this happening? Thank you so much, Yes to Crypto. I highly appreciate that, man. Thank you. Welcome on into the community, our new members. Shout outs to Larry Riker. We got Gibby13, Janix, No Sensei, Leo Rios. Guys, welcome into the community. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for becoming members. It is a nice perk. You guys are going to be getting access to our Signal channels within the next couple of months. We're not going to have it done anytime. We're not going to have it done in the next week. It is probably going to take, it's probably going to be towards the end of March, mid-April. So we get all the automated systems up and we do redo the Discord because we are going to be moving our current premium membership experience over to Kajabi and then fleshing out our Discord to benefit the show and of course benefit you guys supporting us. So if you sign up with any of our affiliate links, you guys will get access to our Signal channels. And of course, if you are YouTube sponsors, channel members, you will receive access to those channels as well. So thank you guys so much. I do believe you can target a gift. I think you can right click on somebody's name or click the hamburger menu next to their name and gift a membership directly that way. I do believe. Yes. I do believe you can do that. But thank you, man. Sorry, the member goal isn't updating. It's going to take a few seconds. And last time it didn't update until I switched scenes. So let me try switching over here. And switching back. Wait, we got to wait a few seconds. Let's wait. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Nope, still nothing. Gosh darn. But we are at, you did, by the way, Yes to Crypto. Shout outs to you, my friend. You are the man. You are amazing. You helped us blast through the member goal. We are now at 32 members out of 30. So thank you so much for helping us guys, we have gone from 5 members to 32 now in 1 month. That is incredible growth. I'm very, very happy. You guys are absolutely fantastic. So we will be doing an extended stream tomorrow as well. That's a kebab, not a ham. What are you, Matt? What? Get your metamojis right. No, it's the hamburger menu, man. There ain't no kebab menu. You know what? I actually do. Oh my God. Is it a kebab? It is. It's like a kebab, isn't it? I got it. Yeah, actually. Hamburger is 3 lines. The kebab is 3 dots. Oh my God, dude. I am learning something new every day. I am learning something absolutely new every day. Thank you so much, man. You are absolutely amazing. All right. So, guys, I'm going to take we've been live now for 1 hour and 30 minutes. I just need to take like a 60-second break. I will be right back. And when I get back, we are going to be talking about, we're going to continue on with our analysis and investigation into alt season, looking for indications here, contrasting and comparing the new information in Glassnode's report with our technical analysis on chain, and trying to figure out broadly, should we be risk on or risk off in the altcoin market? What is the probability that our altcoin positions, entering broadly roughly around this time, dollar cost averaging into the markets right now, will pay off if we're going to have another leg up in the rally? Or does the risk of kind of a market-wide reversal at this point in time outweigh the benefits of getting that appreciation to the upside? I will leave you guys, of course, with... I will be right back. But I will, of course, leave you guys with the 10-second chart. All right. You guys be good. Don't do anything crazy while I'm gone. Ain't nothing but a chicken wing, guys. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. All right. Back to our investigation. As I said, Bitcoin's leading the rally. We're seeing $20 billion in capital inflows per month. And we talked about this difference of how cycles top, with Bitcoin topping first with capital inflows and then Ethereum topping about 20 days later. At least back in the 21 cycle, we topped 21 days later. And then altcoins topping anywhere from 5 weeks to 2 weeks later. All right. And all of this is important because it lets you know the flywheel of diversifying risk in the cryptocurrency markets, right? With this sentence. It is evident that capital moves down the risk curve into altcoins at a slower pace compared to the rotation between the two major cryptocurrencies, a trend which appears to be in play once again. Meaning that the velocity of diversification from Bitcoin into Ethereum is significantly faster than the diversification from either of those two assets into altcoins, right? And we can see the market realized value net capital change. Again, you can see absolutely Bitcoin and Ethereum leading the rally. Bitcoin at 1,002%, relative capital change, 964% for Ethereum. And we can see, what is this? Stable coins and altcoins lagging. Whoa, that's too much. We can see stable coins and altcoins lagging behind here at 837% and 169% respectively. Okay. All right. All right, so we have signs of capital flows into the two majors, right? We know the capital is flowing into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Next question is, how does this capital flow out into altcoins over time? Like, what is the velocity? What is the rotation? What patterns can we determine? Yeah, man, definitely. Welcome back. When you're ready for chart request, you know the DGen in me is bigger than the dog in me. Absolutely, man. We'll take a look at DGen here in just a few minutes. All right. Okay. So Glassnode wants to examine the top 5 tokens of select ecosystems, Ethereum, Cosmos, Polkadot, and Solana, to assess which are attracting the most investor interest. What are the chains that are attracting the most investor interest? How is the capital flowing? All right. And we're going to do that by Glassnode is going to do that by comparing the aggregate market cap of the top 5 tokens in each ecosystem. All right. Let's see here. Over the last 18 months, Solana has exhibited relatively high volatility, with upside performance being a standout. Polkadot and Cosmos have similar volatility, but with the Polkadot ecosystem outperforming the latter. This is kind of why you guys have heard me be very dismissive about Polkadot over this last year, because I'm just very disappointed with their team. Their marketing team sucks. Their initiatives team sucks. Like and they're not growing, right? Okay. So here, we can see the volatility and we can see the overperformance of Solana relative to Polkadot and Cosmos. All right. Within the Ethereum ecosystem. So this is important, right? These words are important coming from Glassnode because we've spent a lot of time going over what are the right narratives to follow, right? Less token selection and more narrative selection, right? Because being on point, having the right narrative is often more important than the proper token selection, right? If you're broadly diversified in the right narrative, you will typically do quite well. If you kind of over agonize over token selection, you can really kind of retard your progress quite a bit. And they're saying here within the Ethereum ecosystem, they can identify 3 major sectors: DeFi, GameFi, and staking. All right. So right there, very interesting. Glassnode basically tells you what are the 3 most critical sectors. What are the 3 most critical narratives to be looking for? That's GameFi, right? I've kind of been proselytizing and evangelizing the GameFi narrative for quite a while. GameFi is a large portion of my portfolio for 2024. I've gone over that quite a few times. Staking, I am the restaking narrative, like Eigenlayer, AltLayer, for example. That is a component of my portfolio. And of course, DeFi, there I'm broadly targeting various different assets. DeFi is not necessarily that's too broad of a category for me, honestly. But the restaking narrative, real world assets, those are narratives that I'm targeting, right? Since the beginning of the year, all 3 sectors have seen inflows. However, the DeFi and GameFi sectors have seen relatively large capital outflows throughout 2022 and 2023. All right. This year, however, this year has been a reversal in the GameFi sector. So we were seeing lots of money We were seeing lots of money. Basically, they're saying that lots of money was flowing out of the GameFi sector in 2020, 2023. But now 2024, as we've kicked off, we've had 2 months now of 2024. That is now reversed, and we are seeing a lot of capital flow into GameFi. With notable inflows started in October, which coincides with the point when our altcoin season indicator triggered. All right. Okay. So to drill down a little bit more, Glassnode is going to dive into the Uniswap liquidity pools. They're going to be diving into the Uniswap liquidity pools. Since altcoins are often traded by more crypto native traders via decentralized exchanges, activity on the most established dexes can serve as a proxy for trends in altcoin trading. All right. Altcoin trading interest was very low during the 2022 bear market, but it started to increase in mid 2023, driven largely by a bust of meme coin mania. All right. So, I mean, kind of the way I'm interpreting this is that proper alt season has not really started. Meme coins have kind of kicked it off, and we're seeing that interest in altcoins pick back up, but nothing that we're seeing. Currently altcoin trading accounts for nearly 12% of Uniswap trade volume, approaching the 17.4% peak seen during the last bull market. In comparison, trading for wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Ethereum makes up 47%, and stablecoins make up 40% of trade volumes. Very interesting. Honestly, I didn't know that before I read that metric. I think that you would generally assume, that the majority, almost all trading on Uniswap would be altcoin trading, but that's actually not the case. It's only 12%. The majority of trading on Uniswap is going to be stable coins, wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Ethereum, which is very interesting. All right. Yeah, here we go. We can just kind of see this volume by token type kind of increase. Here we have stable coins are the light blue, wrapped Ethereum and wrapped Bitcoin are the dark blue here. And then we can see altcoins accounting for a significantly lower portion of the volume up here in the pink/purple. And we can see here is roughly around May and June of 2023. We kind of have this first burst of meme coin mania. And then again in August and September, we get another burst of this kind of meme coin mania. And overall levels, listen, altcoin trading is up, right? We can see altcoin trading is up. We can see this trend very nicely right here. But we haven't really had these big spikes that we've had. So again, I think it's pretty positive, actually. All right. So this is interesting. Liquidity providers on Uniswap tend to closely monitor the markets. So by analyzing the distribution of liquidity across pools, this can give us an indication for prevailing market trends. All right. So examining the composition of TVL on Uniswap, we observe that during altcoin season, there is increased liquidity profile for tokens outside the top 50. Okay, that's interesting. So what they're saying is that during altcoin season, liquidity providers provide more liquidity. I mean, this is pretty basic, but it's also something that can be easily overlooked. Hey, Jordan, welcome to the stream. This is something that's easily overlooked. The fact that, there's usually a strong liquidity profile for top 50 tokens. All right, that's fine on Uniswap. But when we start to see liquidity ramping up for tokens outside the top 50, this could be a leading indicator for altcoin season. All right. During bear markets, all right, liquidity is predominantly provided for the top 50 tokens, as this is where the majority of trade volume occurs. Those top 10 tokens are going to be WETH, wrapped Bitcoin, and stablecoins, which we already went over. It accounts for the lion's share of all DEX trading. And by looking at the percentage change in TVL for each token category, we can detect an increase in liquidity provided for the top 10 and top 20 tokens, while liquidity has been removed for tokens ranked 20 to 50. All right. This suggests that the market appetite for long tail assets has not yet picked up meaningfully, telling us that the kind of rabid altcoin season fever hasn't happened yet. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, TVL total. Okay. Up to 18% of total value locked provided for tokens outside the top 50. All right. This is our indication when we see that liquidity ramp up. And we've seen that Now, increased liquidity for long tail tokens. All right. More than 10% of TVL provided for tokens outside the top 50, showing that increased appetite. Whereas we can see that not really be the case here in 2022. We can also see that not be the case in early 2020, throughout most of 2020 and into 2021. All right. It was Bitcoin and Ethereum driven. And then we entered into alt season here. And again, although market trending down, a little bit of course, altcoin season interest here as individuals are starting to pick up altcoins during the decline of the market there. Yeah, here we have, just marking out predominantly liquidity for major tokens, up to 90% of TVL. So this is a very just interesting metric. If we look at the breakdown of TVL here, anytime we see if we just look at the total amount of TVL provided to liquidity pools, all right, on Uniswap, anytime that ratio of liquidity being provided to tokens outside of the top 50 goes above 10%, that is a very early indication of altcoin season and an indication to start being risk on in the altcoin market. So very interesting. I really like this. This is a level of analysis that I would like to do more of, because I like quant analysis. I like the quant. Alt's still weak. Bitcoin back where it opened the day, but alts are in a sea of red. Just like Moses in the Red Sea, my friend. Alex81SG, welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome back, my brother. All right. All right. Another thing that we can do as well is analyze where that liquidity is being provided. Of course, Uniswap allows liquidity providers to specify the range of price where they are providing liquidity, meaning, if they're providing their liquidity, they're only going to service trades. They're only going to be the counterparty for trades within the range that they specify. This is the Uniswap V3. Bitcoin pumping just over 52. I shouldn't have pre-closed my semi-profitable long. Hey, man, profit is profit, dude. Nobody ever went broke paying themselves. And what they're saying here is that when we see another metric that we can watch for is an increase in market depth between +5 and -5% of price, right? This is a typical range for liquidity to be provided. Again, you have price and liquidity is typically going to be within +5 or -5%. This is why, kind of movements outside of that liquidity zone. This is very similar to kind of our main trading strategy here, our day trading strategy on Bitcoin. Liquidity is being provided in a tight range. And when price makes a sharp move outside of those liquidity zones, price wants to move back in, reversion of the mean. Price wants to revert back into liquidity there. The sea has to be, it must part so the Jesus can rise above. An exception to this is Uni, where market makers have increasingly concentrated liquidity closer to the current price range. This suggests less price volatility is expected for the Uni token, which is not surprising given it is one of the most established and mature tokens. All right, so again, quite complicated dynamics here, but again, just looking at how these liquidity profiles kind of evolve. All right, so for example, here's the liquidity distribution of Uniswap WETH, and you can see that liquidity is very tightly concentrated here in this range. Okay. And so we would expect, anytime, basically, we would expect with this type of profile, if price were to go, say, over here, we would expect it to quickly get bought back up into the range because that's where liquidity is. There's no real service for prices down here below. Very similarly, if price were to break to the upside here, we would expect it to revert back into the range because that's where liquidity is being provided. But when we start to see this profile broaden out, when we start to see these numbers go up, that is an indication that liquidity providers are expecting dramatic moves or more volatility, more movements outside of the range. The jokes are just too easy, man. Okay, this is okay. If you guys were watching this live stream looking for some alpha, here it is. Here it is. I know we're going through this kind of long, type thing. We're reading a lot. This is not the most entertaining thing that you guys have probably ever watched in your morning segment, but right here, this is what we did all of this for. So we could come to this conclusion. All right. We talked about liquidity profiles. We talked about the incentives of liquidity providers and how when they start fleshing out the range of where liquidity is being provided relative to current price, it is an indication that they are expecting increased price volatility. All right. We talked about how capital rotates from Bitcoin to Ethereum to altcoins. We talked about all of these cycles. We talked about all of these patterns that we can look for. We talked about all of these leading indicators that we can look for. But this is the biggest one. We now contrast this with the behavior of traders, where we can observe an increase in trading volume on Uniswap since October of 2023, including tokens outside the top 10. Remember, altcoin trading only accounts for 10% of trading volume on DEXs. All right. Now, here is the alpha. All right. We have already pointed out how liquidity providers are starting to provide liquidity to a looser range, meaning that liquidity providers are expecting and anticipating increased price volatility, meaning a big move. Okay. However, trading activity for the top 20 to top 50 token pairs remains unchanged, which reaffirms our previous hypothesis. Here's the alpha. While liquidity provision is moving farther out on the risk curve, trade volume has yet to follow. Has yet to follow being the critical part. Has yet to follow being the critical part. Will follow. Will follow. All right. The liquidity profile is shaping up. All right. For alt season, the altcoin season indicator is firing. Okay. The liquidity profile has started to flesh out, but traders have not yet committed. Okay. Which means that is the next step, because once we cross that threshold, there's no going back. Right. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Can't put the genie back in the bottle. So I believe what I'm inferring from this is the Glassnode is laying out the case that altcoin season is coming and to stay long, right? Which reaffirms with my general hypothesis here, guys. We're in a bull market, stay long. All right. So summary and conclusion from Glassnode here. The market momentum following the new Bitcoin ETFs and the anticipation of a bull market in digital assets is starting to create shifts in capital flows to all altcoins, right? Capital flows into Bitcoin, then Ethereum, and then it flows into altcoins. This is the flywheel. We see it over and over and over again. Glassnode's altcoin indicator suggests a more mature and possibly sustained uptick in altcoin markets. Okay. However, that interest is relatively concentrated in higher market cap assets at this time, meaning that investors are beginning to move out on the risk curve, which is good for altcoin holders. But they're doing so tentatively right now, right? They're moving into the more established projects, Polkadot, Cosmos, Ethereum, Solana. All right, that's where we're seeing the majority of this movement out on the risk curve. All right, but this is the first step. Investors move out there, they see good gains, they rotate capital into more riskier assets, they rotate gains, they rotate capital out into more riskier assets. All right, and this is why we see the flywheel of pumps from majors to major caps to medium caps to low caps. All right, it's the flywheel. Okay. All right, Solana has seen the strongest returns over the last year. However, some movement is starting within the Polkadot and Cosmos ecosystems alike. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of Polkadot, but I'm a huge fan of Cosmos. Cosmos, big part of my portfolio. All right. Within the Ethereum ecosystem, the staking sector is showing the most consistent capital inflow for its top token, which like astounds me, because like you can go get T-bills right now and earn a higher APY than staking your Ethereum. Okay. A resurgence in altcoin trading on Uniswap, alongside liquidity and trading volume patterns, underscores a cautious yet growing interest in longer tail assets. Longer tail assets are riskier assets. This is initially showing up in change in liquidity provision and an expectation of heightened volatility. This, however, is particularly present within TVL, within the pool, and investor trade volume has yet to follow. I think they kind of messed up on that last sentence, but all they're trying to say is that this is a leading indicator that liquidity provision is ramping out, that we are starting to see the liquidity providers, who are very important to the markets, they are anticipating increased price volatility, but traders have yet to commit and follow along. All right. So this is suggesting that we will be seeing an altcoin season and that life is good, in my humble opinion. All right. As always, trade safely, do your own analysis, do your own research. You guys are responsible for your financial decisions, but fantastic information from Glassnode. I really love these deep dives into some of this on-chain data. And this is the type of analysis that if you guys really want to kind of go down the quant road and, you know, do more than just kind of, oh, well, I guess price will go up or go down or whatever, right? This is at the high end of what we do. This is far more quantitative than most of the work that I actually do. Most of mine is just, again, just kind of more sticking strictly to back testing, strategy testing, all of that kind of stuff. But this quantitative on-chain analysis is just absolutely fire. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. So shout out to Glassnode for this. And if you guys want to sign up for Glassnode, so you will get a discount if you want to sign up with the link in our links channel in our Discord. That's it. Okay, I stopped the recording. I'm going to be publishing that as a standalone video right after the show. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to clip today's market report because I forgot to click the record button. Sorry, guys. Forgot to click the record button. Beautiful move from Bitcoin. Yep. Just a little north of 52,000, 52,108. All right, life's good. Getting our kind of first pullback here. Still looking for pullbacks around 51,212. That's our low volume node for the day. So, you know, price, if there is a place for price to want to go to, that's typically what it is. We have smashed our TP on our long, so I think we'll go ahead and take those profits here. Yep, we got our Bitcoin long here that we will be taking profit on, and our Ethereum long as well that we will be taking profit on also. All right. All right, so not bad. Closing out 2 winning positions today. We're still, of course, holding Bitcoin swing long. We are holding Dogecoin swing long. Not too much to do, but happy to get the opportunity. And I felt bad about that Ethereum position because, you know, I really did. I bought the breakout right here. You know what I'm saying? I bought the breakout, and then price goes all the way up, and I was like, oh, great, cool. This was yesterday. I thought we were going to get this, you know, kind of explosion at 36. Took a relatively large position, and then, you know, obviously had to wake up this morning to pretty extreme drawdown. So happy to get the opportunity to skeet on out of that position. Sorry, let me take a look at chat here. Do I know CoinCall was shopping for options and they have March 28th expirations instead of the 29th, which is kind of intriguing. No, I'm actually not familiar. Let's check them out. There's actually another one that I wanted to check out, which is Greeks.live. Oh, interesting. So Greeks.live is aggregation for ByBit, OKX, and what is this? Bit? BitX. Chinese site. Okay. Very interesting. Didn't even know that was the thing. But yeah, was hearing about this website actually this morning. Greeks.live, Professional Option Traders Toolkit. Apparently app in the App Store. And what is this? Newcomer's Guide. Let's just see what's going on here. This looks like an aggregator. You trade, like you have to have an account on ByBit, OKX, BitX, or Deribit. And this is the official partner of Bits. We aim to provide a better trading experience for crypto options traders. We provide accurate Greeks calculation tools and valuable visual data for your options portfolio. So yeah, this is kind of the place. All right. Unfortunately, guys, I'm still not allowed to trade on. Well, it's not that I'm not allowed to trade on, but I'm not going to be able to sign up for Deribit quite yet. But let's check out CoinCall. Simplified crypto options and futures for all. Stay away from the bad bunnies. Enjoy up to zero spread options trading, the biggest altcoin options exchange. Okay. Options. We got Bitcoin options. Let's go check out our Bitcoin options. And let's kind of, the first thing I always just want to look at is like, what does the liquidity look like on here? Okay, So we want, March 28th expirations. Excellent. And we want to buy puts. And if we were to buy, here we go. The asking price for, let's just, and we always want to cross-reference this against the King Deribit. All right. So if you look at Deribit, March 29th expirations, let's just contrast the $50,000 strike price. These are currently trading for $2,323. $50,000 strike. Wow, that is actually incredible. The ask price is $23.80. We normally see the options on most of these, the options prices on most of these options platforms be wildly divergent. So this is actually quite cool. This is actually quite cool. Let's check this out. Break-even price would be $47,650, as opposed to, we go to the position builder on Deribit. All right, so we're going to delete that, and we're going to select the March 29th expirations, and we're going to buy the $50,000 strike put, and we want to go long one whole BTC. We're going to long that. Our break-even point is our break-even point is 51,202. All right, so huge difference. Just huge difference right there. Huge difference right there. So yeah, at our break-even price of 47,000, we're already profiting like 1,700, which is 50% gain, which is a 50% gain on our position. Trader Boris asks, did my Palau digital residency work for Deribit? No. It's not that it didn't work. I haven't tried yet. All right. So my Palau digital residency has successfully worked for KuCoin. I am now KYC'd on the KuCoin exchange, so all is well and good. But with Deribit, they require residency information. And Palau currently has a bill at the government level as of January 8th to provide those services for digital residents, to provide them Palau banking, to provide them Palau residency, a physical address to utilize, and a mailing address. And if I have that, if that passes and they provide those services, then I would be able to sign up for Deribit and potentially even Binance. But as it stands right now, no. So I've only done KuCoin, and I will slowly branch out into other exchanges. But I'm happy now because I now have access to buy more spot assets on KuCoin. So life's good. So again, highly recommend the RNS program. It's been absolutely fantastic for me. I might be down in Ethereum Denver speaking at their booth. Anybody wants to pop into Denver? Yes, they should. They should, Alex, but they're not, and it's telling. I mean, this is still not bad. Mark price 2340. Ask is 23. So there's 106 liquidity there. 24-hour volume for only $17,000 in volume. Let's see if we went limit price. I wanted to do 1 BTC. Cost us $2,350. And let's see. Yeah. We need to expire below 47,400 to make 250 bucks. So obviously if price gets down here to like 35,000, we make 11,000, but yeah, we break even. Our break even price here is $47,650. So compare that with the Deribit option. That's $3,000 of wiggle room that we have on Deribit as opposed to CoinCall. This is still not like terrible though. This is still not horrible, right? This is still pretty good. This is way better than LedgerX. This is way better than LedgerX. But probably I'm just going to go back to ByBit. Probably I'll just go to ByBit and trade options there. And I'm going to check out this Greeks live. I'm hearing lots of good things about this Greeks live. So if you guys have any experience with this, I'd really like to know. All right, we've got 25 minutes left in the stream. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. I know, like, it's frustrating that this stupid element that I have on stream is not updating, but Yes to Crypto did come in with the 5 gifties blasting us above the member goal. So we did smash the member goal. We are doing extended stream because Profit Bear helped us reach the member goal yesterday. But goal, yeah, change the total sponsor count. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Sorry, you're right. I gotta look at DGen. Of course, you guys have been with me this whole time. You've even invited some Farcaster friends. And we haven't looked at DGen yet. Like what? Like, how can we even live like this? We'll add Jesus to my watch list. I need to, you know what I need to do? I need to, give me a second, guys. I need to manage my lists. Start breaking my lists into F, Soul, Cosmos plays. Most of my plays are on Ethereum. Hold on. X. Oh, I do. Yeah, LNDX is on ARB, but for me it's mainly Ethereum. So, let's make an ARB. Make an ARB. It's fine. We're gonna put this one on ARB. And this one will stay on my main watch list because I'm in it. Ondo Finance. We'll go on F, but also on my main watch list because I'm in it. GUI is on Aptos. And I don't really do much Aptos trading, but I will create the list. I think that's fine. Second. I got you. Aerodrome, this is going to be base. Haven't really done much base trading, not going to lie. DGen will fall into this category though. So put base right there, and we can actually take Arrow off of my main watch list. Oh, we can take GUI off of my main watch list too. Layer AI. We can put this on F. Block V. Bookiebot, unfortunately, we can put this on F. STG is on the F. Very good. Thanks for rocking out with me here. DGen, which we will get to here for an analysis in just a second. Our base chain. We can take it off the main watch list. I don't hold DGen. I apologize. Mavia, I'm quite interested in, but this will go on Ethereum off of. I don't hold Ethereum. RBS currently holding. This will go on Ethereum. Asterisks currently holding. This will go on Ethereum. And Jesus Coin not holding, but this will go on. Oh, guys, I forgot about guys. Guys can go on our Ethereum. Play off of my now. Big eyes. Also go to Ethereum. My main watch list right now. Open exchange. Matic. I bought it on Matic. Okay, cool. All right, so we kind of got like my really active positions. And then we can go to oh, sorry. Egan's on base. So Egan is on base. Excuse me. Ah. Almost died there. Okay, so let's look at DGen. Well, okay, so I'm not gonna lie. So earlier we were looking at Jesus coin on Ethereum, and I pointed out this pattern that altcoins tend to go through. And of course, slightly different here on the DGen coin. But the pattern that we have noticed, not just with Jesus, but it was a good current example of it that we see so many times on altcoins, is going to be token launch, immediate pump, right? And so this is the classic playbook. The classic playbook is token launch, immediate pump, drastic sell-off, long period of sideways consolidation, and then bull market, and then like incredible rally. All right. This is very common to see on things like highly anticipated airdrop coins. So for example, like Sui, Aptos, Flow, Celestia, although Celestia didn't really pull back, it just took off. Velodrome, Aerodrome, Base, like again, all these kind of, even Optimism and Arbitrum, right? Like all of these kind of like highly anticipated coins that do like an airdrop. They launch, they run up a little bit, and they sell off, long period of sideways consolidation, and then a rally. Okay. With Jesus coin, and also to a degree on DGen here, I want to point out the similarity where we saw something very similar. Jesus launched, went sideways for a little bit, pumped, big pullback, double top, pulled back, sideways, and then had a big rally, and then a double top there, and then pulled back. So we're seeing something not dissimilar here with Jesus, right? Or not Jesus, with DGen, where we have the launch, all right? Price goes sideways, and then we have a rally, pull back, sideways here. But here we have like just kind of a nice like 3-drive advance. You know what I mean? We have a nice 3-drive advance, holding a good uptrend, holding a nice kind of diagonal uptrend throughout this uptrend. And then we break down right around here. And I talked about this zone pretty significantly, right? We played this, like I feel like my analysis on this has been pretty good because I picked out these channels that price was going to trade in. And I'm pretty excited for you guys right now because price has kind of come back to this kind of critical level of support around 1493. Right? And this is spot. This isn't futures. So there's no hidden meanings in price going below levels. Like, no, when we're talking about spot, like breaks of support are bearish, breaks of resistance are bullish, right? Like that's what it is. So we are seeing a nice, powerful reaction off of support. We've driven down here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. All right. So this support is getting somewhat weak, but is also showing us its resilience as well. Unfortunately, we are experiencing lower highs coming into this. All right. So now the critical level to break, as I've talked about, this is the same thing I said yesterday, but 2,200, right? This $2,000 to $2,200 range, not $100, but whatever, fractions of pennies. Yeah, but not 2,000 to not 2,200, all right? Dollars. That's the critical level of resistance to break, all right? We've kind of seen this consolidation down here before, where we put in a W pattern, then we had this kind of nice expansion. This has just been a long downtrend. Now, again, this is, just for any trader, like this is a place to buy DGen, right? Like, again, you buy support, you bid up support, right? It's just kind of the way to do things. And I would be looking probably for initial profit trimming here at 2,000, 2,200, just kind of playing that speculation. If we were able to break above that level, then again, just kind of look for 3,000. It's just the game we play, all right? We want to see forward progress. We want to see nice logical advances, just like we saw during the uptrend. But I mean, I'm just saying, guys, 80% of tokens that make an all-time high do not then continue on to make that new all-time high. You guys want to make sure that you're securing your profits. Obviously hold your moon bag. Absolutely hold your moon bag. Life is good. But yeah, as far as DGen goes, for the holders, or for those of you kind of looking to trade. The logical places to be bidding would be, you know, at support here. Break of support looks pretty scary because we don't really have anything down to this fair value gap down around 6,020, which is obviously scary. But the first critical level of resistance to break here is between that $2,000 and $2,200 level. We have reclaimed the 55 EMA for the first time. Unfortunately, every time we've done this, though, in this most recent downtrend, every time we actually get over the 55, it's been a we've gotten rejection. So we'll see. We have now just climbed above the 55 for the first time since 2 days ago. But every time it's price is mean reverted. So we need to see some significant progress. We are at resistance here too as well. Significant progress would be a break above 2,200, and then our next target would be 3,000. But unfortunately, we don't have any real sign that we've broken the downtrend yet. The only level of nuance is the fact that, you know, within this downtrend, we have now driven down into support. Pretty good volume here. Obviously, pretty significant volume. And a good bullish reaction off of support. So watch for that kind of immediate risk of mean reversion right now, which we've done the previous 2 times we've popped above the 55 exponential moving average. And then again, critical level of support really does need to hold here. There's no bullish reason that price needs to come down here. All right, guys. You know, if there's going to be a line in the sand, it needs to be 1,600. Because once we break down below 1,600 and we enter these kind of uncharted waters from, you know, obviously like early investors, things get pretty unpredictable. I'm not going to lie. TA becomes less clean. TA becomes less predictable. When price is respecting very clearly established lines, TA is a lot easier, and we can, again, TA is not magic. TA does not tell me what will happen in the future. It's quantum mechanics. It tells me the probabilities, the likely probabilities of things happening, right? Looking at the overall trend, the unfortunate probability is that DGen does continue to sideways consolidate here. But within that macro, we have Pico opportunities of buying support. Within that, there's even the more Pico opportunity of identifying this mean reverting behavior that we've had on the hourly time frame of the last few days. Or really over the last week or so, but yeah. Again, strong show from support. So I like that. Okay. If we can get past this mean reverting fear, this mean reverting barrier here, then again, run up on resistance at 2,000, break of resistance at 2,000. We look for run on resistance at 3,000. Well, I appreciate you, Yes to Crypto. Thank you, man. You've been in here just about every day. I look forward to seeing you every morning, man. And life's good. Pico opportunities to trade DGen in these channels. Absolutely. In that case, then you probably want to, I would take anywhere from 20 to, if you bought support, I would take anywhere from 20 to 50% profits on this position right here. All right. Because you're picking up pennies in front of a steamroller, right? The overall trend is bearish. So when we're trading to the long side, we need to be very surgical. All right. So I would look to take anywhere from 20 to 50% profits on your swing trade. How much is up to you? And then I would look to exit another 20 to 30% at resistance here, and then hold that other 20% moon bag to see if we get a successful close above 2,000, 2,200. If we do, you could buy the breakout. If we do, you could buy the breakout and you could reinvest your profits and then basically just DCA on the way up. Once we've cleared a level of resistance and you have that bullish confirmation from the market that, okay, right, price is going up. I don't know where I can short this. Probably, honestly, probably nowhere. But we can look. Just go to CoinGecko, search for DGen. Which one is it? Here we go. On base. Yeah, right. Come on, Gecko Terminal. You know I'm human. Come on, man. Other pools trading degen. This isn't quite, yeah. This isn't what I was looking for. I didn't really want it in the terminal. Usually CoinGecko has the list of markets, and then you can see if there's any futures markets, but highly unlikely to have a futures market for degen. Yes. So I guess I can short 1x by selling and buying. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like if you don't have actually access to a short position, really your only opportunities are like if you go flat, you know, there's flat. All right. Another trade in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Closed out 2 successful positions today on Ethereum, 1 on Bitcoin. Shout outs to the copy traders. Hopefully you guys are happy. Life's good. Copy traders are like, nah, man, it's not good. Been losing us money for a week. And if you think 2 little day trades are going to make up for your week of 6 losing trades, Justin, I don't think so. Better get your ass back in the kitchen. Cook us up something. I'm cooking, guys. Cooking. All right. Now that we are at mid-range, and before we conclude today's stream, I do want to give you guys... I do want to mark out our liquidation zones to the upside. Now, I didn't at the beginning, and I said at the beginning of the stream that it wasn't really important to do so until we got closer, and we're closer now. So I do want to be looking at where our liquidation zones are, our significant liquidation zones are for Bitcoin. So we can put these off on the chart. All right, we do have resistance right now at 52,191, up to 52,366, 191 to 366. Okay, so we do have our liquidation zone right here. The price is not really driven into yet. This is where we probably want to be fading from. Okay, we've got our 15-minute block right here. All right, so we'll come back to that in a second. So we do have a liquidation zone directly overhead. I would expect to see a drive into that liquidation zone before price does make a move back down to our 15-minute block here. All right. Oh, beautiful indicator too as well. UOP and just simple open interest here is really good. All right. And then, yeah, we do have a smattering of liquidations up here, but they're not really super significant. Important liquidation zones to break: 53,375, 375 to 507. $53,507, 53,375. Did I? Okay, no. And then the next significant zone above that is 53,726, 726 to 945, 726 to 945. All right. All right, so this is where it gets scary, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it gets saucy. All right? This is where it gets saucy. Okay? Because we do have listen, we do have liquidations. We do have liquidations above here. All right? But really, in my thinking, guys, if we can clear liquidations at 52,265, then, I mean, we're probably going to up thrust to 53,412. So basically, the game plan here for me is pretty simple. If you guys are following along, I'm bullish. Okay, we're in a bull market. I will be bullish, right? There are going to be times that I go long and I get slapped in the face, right? And I buy a top, and that's just going to happen. But I promise you this. Well, hold on. Before I promise you anything, let me just tell you something, okay? I've been bullish. I don't know. I'm not going to make the same mistakes in this cycle that I made in previous cycles, right? I'm going to maximize my returns. And I promise you this, by being bullish, by just trading the dominant direction of the market, I will probably make more money this cycle than if I hyper focus on catching these very sophisticated moves. I'm not out to catch sophisticated moves. I'm out here to make money, guys. So in my estimation, we drove down into support. We grabbed long side liquidity. We cleared late longers out. We cleared everybody who longed the top here. Had this nice Darth Maul movement in the current range. All right. Nice, good movement from BTC right now intraday. Again, we cleared liquidations to the downside. We've rallied up and above today's point of control, above yesterday's point of control. We're above VWAP mid-range. Life is good. We could either consolidate here. More than likely, what I see is one of two things. Price is going to swing up here to 52,280, 250 to 280 within the next, I don't know, like few hours. And then we probably sell off throughout the rest of the basically US trading session into this evening, down to 51,247. We see a higher low, and then we go for another run on our liquidations. Either we clear these out, because if we clear liquidations on this up thrust and then pull back, then we'll just kind of have, we do have liquidations, a few liquidations here, right? So again, alley-oop up, down, blast through, pull back, right? And then maybe tonight, if we're really, really bullish, or like early tomorrow, we make this next run above 53. But again, in my estimation, guys, the signal to watch for intraday is very clear. We want to see this current overhead liquidation zone get closed above. We want to see price close above the current liquidation zone. So I want to see price above 52,400. If we close price above 52,400, all right, after a pullback, right? Obviously, if we go up to 52,400 right now, we're probably going to pull back. But we go up here, we pull back, and then we close back above 52,400. Close above 52,400 is life's good, all right? Because a close above 52,400 means we are going to run up and at the very least grab liquidity at 53,400, 53,800, all right? Now, reversals from here are, of course, possible. That's going to be very sad, Panda. If we reject from up here and come back down into the trading range, then I'm going to consider this a fake breakout. And I'm probably going to consider trading the downside, actually. I'm probably going to consider looking for futures positions. I'm already hedged with options. But, again, yeah. So, but the break of 52,400 is the most important thing to watch for the day. And I would probably expect to see rejection here, at least in the short term. I'd like to see price come up here and then probably slide down to our block here at like 51,200-ish. Okay. So that's what I'd be watching for as we kind of close out the day, guys. Alexander, yes, of course you're right. But he was talking about degen on base. It's where there's nowhere to short it, right? So if you can't short, then you can only be long or flat. That's all I was trying to say. And by the way, Alex, you'll want to rewind and listen to my opening rant of today's stream. I shout you out quite a bit. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, degens and dungeon masters, freaks and frolickers, that is it for today's stream. Thank you so much for joining me for today's live crypto trading room. We've laughed, we've cried, we've made some money along the way. We made a few $100 today. Life's good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow. I will try to be on time tomorrow, I promise. And because big shout outs to Yes to Crypto with the 5 gifties today. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for all the support. We will be doing an extended stream tomorrow, so you guys do have me for another 2.5 hours tomorrow morning. I don't know how you guys like deal with me, right? You just log on every day and watch me for 2 hours. Guys, we are seeing tremendous growth here on the YouTube. Today was like a more like subdued stream. We didn't have a ton of like new viewership on here, but I will say that, I mean, overall, our metrics are just up and to the right. All right. Chat engagement, how much you guys are talking, new members coming in, new subscriptions, comments on the videos. Everything's just going up and good. And I know obviously that I have to bring that energy and be consistent for you guys, but I mean, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for all of your support. You guys are absolutely incredible. This is my living, and I really appreciate all the support and you guys being along with this journey for me, right? I've been doing this since 2018 with the live streaming thing. I've been trading since 2016, and it's just been my pleasure and my honor to be a guide, to be a mentor, to make life-changing money in the 2018 cycle and the 2021 cycle, and here we are at it again in 2024. So let's get this, guys. It's going to be an incredible year, and I'm going to be here with you guys every step of the way. So don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Become a channel member if you guys want to get some great exclusive perks. If you're interested in all of our coursework, our curriculum, all of our indicators, our private community, and our signals, you guys can check out everything on our website, crackingcryptocurrency.com, and I will see you guys in the next one. Trade safely.
You